Hey, what's up? It's your girl Trish, certified transformational nutrition coach, and I wanted to share with you today some tips on how to not gain weight during quarantine. A lot of us, actually all of us, are spending a lot more time at home these days, and if you're anything like me, when you're at home, it's just a lot easier to graze and snack and munch and eat and take a bite of this and a handful of that, and something about being at home makes my brain just want to consume more. It's like, hey, go to the kitchen. Go, you need something in the pantry, right? How about just a handful? How about we get a little mini bowl of this right here? Just because, no, okay. There's probably some sort of evolutionary advantage, that makes us want to eat when there's food around. But that evolutionary advantage combined with all the gyms being closed is a recipe for gaining weight. And that's not cute. We don't need to do that. Okay, my first tip is to start the day off right. So what do I mean by that? I mean, make your first meal a quality meal that keeps you satisfied and satiated for hours to come. What you don't want to do is have a sugar bomb first thing in the morning and then set yourself up for cravings throughout the day. And then, your calorie intake goes up because you're constantly consuming sugar, your insulin levels go up, causing you to store fat. The point is you want something that's going to be high in nutrients, high in fiber, so you stay full, and hopefully you have a good quality fat in there and some protein. If you are intermittent fasting, keep your coffee in the morning to less than 50 calories so you don't break your fast. Another point about your first meal of the day, everyone says it's the most important meal, and there's a lot of truth to that. A lot of that comes with being the first thing that you feed your microbiome. So for those who are not familiar, it's the bacteria, it's the ecosystem that lives inside your gut. And there's good guys in there, there's bad guys in there. So when you feed the good guys first off, they have more of a fighting chance to do a lot of the work that they need to do. It's a symbiotic relationship, you provide them with health, they in turn do a lot of jobs for you and provide you with health. So think about those little guys as you eat. You're not just eating for you, you're eating for millions, trillions, billions, I don't know. Now my next tip is getting back to the concept of grazing. When you snack and eat throughout the whole day, and like all day is just an eating fest. It's a really basic tip and kind of a no-brainer, but I'm just going to say it anyway. Hide the junk food. Hide your kids, hide the junk food. Like, there's no reason to tempt yourself and have things out that are going to be a point of stress for you. If you can't see it, if it's out of mind, you're less likely to think about it. So just move it. All right, my next tip for not gaining weight during a pandemic is to eat real food. I'm probably going to say this until the day I die, so it's not anything new and it's not really specifically for a pandemic. But the reason it applies is because there's so much craze about non-perishable, frozen, boxed, canned, anything that will last on the shelves for the next 10 years. Scoop it up and stock up on it. I don't agree. I mean, I do to the extent that you need to have some backup food, and I understand why that's important. But you know what else is important? Your health. And the reason this relates to gaining weight is because when you eat a bunch of fake food that your body isn't familiar with, it's going to continue to crave nutrients. So when you have constant nutrient deficiencies, it's going to cause your body to crave more and more and more, seeking out those nutrients. So you might as well just get them from Whole Foods in the first place. Makes sense, right? I mean, it sounds so old school and it sounds like grandmother's advice, but it's true. Grandmas were smart. And the good news about eating real food right now is that there's a ton of produce. I mean, that's one thing that is not getting destroyed at the market, or at least my markets. So do yourself a favor and eat real. Okay, my next tip is another of Grandma's favorites. It's to use your freezer. Duh. Really, Trish? Cool. I'm serious. Frozen berries, frozen bananas, frozen potatoes, whatever you don't use, freeze it. Then you're not being wasteful and you're stockpiling and you're still eating good whole foods. Win-win. Okay, this one we're going to file in the low-hanging fruit category. It's easy and a lot of us are spending most of our time at home anyway. And it's to stay hydrated. The reason you want to stay hydrated and the reason that relates to not gaining weight is because your body often confuses hunger with thirst. So if you can just knock that out and check that box and not have to worry about that confusion, it's less stress on you later to figure out, am I hungry? Am I not hungry? I just ate a couple hours ago. Why do I feel? Stay hydrated. All right, this next tip is one of my favorite things. One of the biggest reasons I love working from home is movement breaks. I mean, it's hard to get up and do 25 air squats in the office and not have people look at you like you're crazy. And I've done that before, but I don't mind if people look at me like I'm crazy. I am crazy. Take, a second to do push-ups, a few crunches, or do some air squats in between your, switching tasks, or on your way to the restroom, do a couple push-ups. It's easy, it's accessible, you're home, no one's watching. If you do it wrong, if your form sucks, if you're getting used to it, it's private, and it also keeps your blood flowing. Like, it's nice to have a little heart rate increase and get your blood going to your brain. It's a win-win, and I like to do a lot of these sets kind of throughout the day. So rather than having, like, on the days that I don't have a big bang workout in the morning, I'll do just a couple different sets throughout the entire day of different things. I'll do like 3 sets of crunches, air squats, push-ups, just kind of throughout the day. All right, this last tip is one of my favorites, and it might not feel like it belongs in the keep the weight off category. And that is to get quality sleep. I'm gonna say it again, get quality sleep. And the reason that this has to do with weight gain in the first place is because when you get shitty sleep, you tend to have really, really strong sugar cravings the next day. And there's a reason for that. I mean, all of the years that you've had donuts and sugar cereal and whatever else, your body registers like, oh, that's a quick way to get a good hit of energy. And I don't have to do much unpacking. It's just kind of there and ready and available. And it's a quick release of energy. So in order to avoid those cravings, get good sleep. Simple. I know that sometimes the simple things are not the easy things, but it is simple. All right, so let's do a quick recap of my tips on how to not gain weight during this pandemic quarantine that we're all going through. Okay, so number 1 was to start the day off right. So eat a high quality, high fiber, high protein first meal of the day so that you stay satiated and you don't spike and then crash and then crave, and then spike and then crash and then crave. Number 2 was to hide the junk food. Get it out of your face. Try not to graze by out of sight, out of mind approach. Number 3 is to eat real foods, eat whole foods. And then paired with that is to shop the produce and then freeze it when you aren't going to use it. After that, we have stay hydrated. Make sure that you're drinking enough water so that your body doesn't confuse hunger cues with thirst cues. And last and absolutely not least, it's one of my favorites, is to get high quality sleep. Make your sleep a priority so that you don't turn into crazy sugar craving monster the next day. That's it. The beauty about all of these things that we talked about today is that they're gonna help your immune system too, which is kind of clutch right now. You don't need to be running around in fear. Yes, we need to be responsible. Yes, we need to do our part to help stop the spread of this virus, but we don't need to be living our lives in a place of fear. If you're a healthy person, if you're taking care of yourself, and you're doing all the things that we talked about today, you don't need to worry and allow this, virus of the mind to take place on top of all this. If what I'm saying is resonating with you, I want you to consider that we only have one body. This is the one sure home that we're going to have for our entire lives. From the womb to the tomb, we only get one. So I really urge you to invest in your health, invest in your body, do the things that are going to make you healthy. The way that we invest in our jobs, in our homes, in our relationships, the way that we invest in our kids, if we can think of ourselves and our health as a priority, the same way that we prioritize all of the other stuff, I think we're going to be winning. I really do. If weight loss is something that you're struggling with, or if this new way of life has you kind of rethinking your priorities and wanting to focus more on yourself, I've put together a short guide that shines the light on 3 major factors of why you might not be losing weight that you want to. So if you're interested, check that out. It's in the link below this. So thank you so much for spending your time with me. I appreciate it. I value you, and take care. Hope this was helpful.